Hello, how are you doing? Oh, Bria, I'm doing great. The morning sickness is finally eased up, so I'm feeling much better now. That's wonderful to hear. You're 6 months along now, right? It won't be long before we get to meet the little one. How exciting! Yes, it's really exciting. My husband is just as excited. In fact, yesterday he bought a soccer ball for the baby. Oh, wow, your husband's really getting ahead of things, huh? But I totally get it. I'm looking forward to meeting my nephew, too. I'll be sure to pray for an easy delivery for you. Thank you so much. By the way, do you have a minute? I actually wanted to ask you about something. Oh, what is it? What's on your mind? Well, I was wondering if you'd like some baby clothes. They're hand-me-downs from my little one. Wait, what? Hand-me-downs? Yeah, they're clothes we got as gifts for my first child. But now that the younger one is already in preschool, they've just been sitting around unused. They're still in great condition, so I couldn't bring myself to throw them out, especially since they were gifts. I thought it would be better to give them to you or even to Kylie since she's also pregnant. I thought maybe you two could use them. I'll send you some photos, and if you like any of them, just let me know. I'll check with Kylie as well before sending them. I don't need them. Please don't try to push your old things on me. What? Hand-me-downs are just that, old, worn-out things, and they're kind of gross. You don't know what's been on them or what they've been through, so it's just unpleasant to me. Please don't try to give me things like that. But I checked them all. There are no noticeable stains, and they haven't been worn that much. They're still in great condition. But they're still secondhand, aren't they? I want to dress my baby in brand new clothes, not in someone else's old things. Do you think my baby would be fine in someone else's hand-me-downs? No, that's not what I meant at all. I've noticed this about you for a while now. Just because you were the first to get married and have the first grandchild, you look down on me thinking I'm too old to be getting married or pregnant now. That's why you're okay with trying to push your old clothes onto me, isn't it? That's not how I feel at all. I just thought it might be helpful, that's all. Well, I don't need them. I'm the eldest daughter-in-law, so I'm the one with more status here, you know. I got married while I was still in school, and I don't need handouts from someone who hasn't even had much life experience. If you want to give them away, how about to your brother? He's the type to take anything, even old rags. That's not fair. Kylie is kind and full of energy. She's a really good person. She's probably just not thinking things through. Anyway, I don't want any of your trash. If you want to pass them on, go give them to someone else. I understand. I'll leave you alone then. Sorry. It's pregnant now, right? I was wondering, if you wouldn't mind, would you like to take some of my baby clothes? They're hand-me-downs, but they're almost all unused because they were gifts for my little one. I haven't really used them, and it feels wasteful to just throw them away. If you're okay with it, of course. Wait, really? You're offering me those? Yes, I'll take them. Absolutely. I'd love to have them. Oh, you'll take them? Oh, I'm so glad. Actually, I asked Chelsea about them earlier, but she said she didn't want any hand-me-downs. I was worried you might feel the same way, but looks like that's not the case. Not at all. I'm more than happy to accept. I've heard babies go through clothes so quickly. They get dirty and need to be changed all the time. So the more clothes, the better. It's honestly such a huge help. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that. I'll send them over without any hesitation then. Honestly, I was planning on sharing them with Ichika, but since Chelsea refused, I'll just share everything with you. I'll try to pick out the nicest ones, but if any don't suit your tastes, feel free to send them back with the shipping paid on your end. Are you sure? Oh, thank you so much, Kylie. I promise I'll take good care of them and make sure to dress my little one in them when they arrive. Thank you. That really makes me happy to hear. I'll get them ready to ship tomorrow. Yay, thank you. I'm so excited. Elliot, wait, hold on a second. What is it, Chelsea? Looks like you've been calling me a lot. What's going on? What the heck is this? What's going on here? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean. The hand-me-downs from the other day. I saw something on Kylie's social media today, and what was that? Baby clothes from Bond Point and all those luxury brands? What's going on? Well, as I mentioned before, those are from a friend of mine. She's been working overseas and was thrilled when my baby was born. She gave me a bunch of baby clothes and toys from high-end brands. The ones I gave Kylie were all from that friend of mine. No way! But those clothes looked brand new. They weren't worn out or full of holes. How is that possible? They must be over 5 years old. Well, this is a bit embarrassing to admit, but they're expensive items, so I kept them aside to use at the right time. But I ended up keeping them so carefully that my baby outgrew them before I could use them. So they're mostly brand new and unused, actually. What? Well, if I'd have known, I would have wanted them too. Why didn't you tell me they were from luxury brands? I'll take anything. Baby clothes, toys, stuffed animals, whatever. Send them to me right now. Well, I already sent them all to Kylie. I don't have anything left here. I don't have anything for you. Huh? Why don't I get anything? That is so unfair. But didn't you say you didn't want any hand-me-downs? You said they were dirty and you didn't want secondhand clothes. You told me not to give you any garbage. But I didn't know they were this nice. If I had known they were brand new and from luxury brands, I would have asked for them. You should have told me sooner. I'll take anything at all. No. I'm still using some of the toys, so I can't give those away either. What? Oh, this is awful. You're favoring your sister-in-law so much. This is the lowest thing you could do. Chelsea, I've been holding back because I didn't want to cause you stress during your pregnancy, but your behavior is just selfish. What did you just say? When I offered the clothes, you said, I don't want them, they're dirty. Now that you know their brand name, you're upset that I didn't give them to you. Your behavior sounds like a child throwing a tantrum. You're an adult, so you should know that kind of behavior doesn't work. Well, if I had known from the start that they were brand name, I wouldn't have said that. So what should I have done? Should I have asked you, hey, these are brand name, is that okay? Wouldn't that have sounded condescending? Well, I guess. Enough, I'm done here. I'm a young wife with little social experience, and I don't have the patience to deal with your selfish, rude attitude. I don't have anything to give you, whether it's brand name or not. If you want something, go buy it yourself. You're the eldest daughter-in-law, so don't come asking me for handouts. Goodbye. Wait, I'm sorry. I really am. I shouldn't have said all that. I didn't mean it, really. I've just been feeling down, and I was so envious of you, your youth, and how you're having a baby. I felt so miserable about myself being older and still having a baby. And with the pregnancy blues, I ended up taking it all out on you. Pregnancy blues are tough, but that doesn't give you the right to disrespect your sister-in-law or throw hurtful words at me. Talking badly about Kylie? I'm genuinely upset with you right now. I don't want to see your face again. But for now, we'll keep our interactions to a minimum. We'll stay polite, but distant. I won't be contacting you unless absolutely necessary, at least until I'm ready to let this go. Do you understand? I'm so sorry, Elia. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to be like this. I could tell immediately that her words lacked sincerity. They were nothing more than justifications, attempts to shift the blame away from her. After the third or fourth message, I had had enough. I turned off the notifications and just left them there, unread, to gather dust. The messages kept coming, but I wasn't interested. At that point, I figured there was no need to engage. I had already made my decision. Until the baby arrived, I would keep things on the back burner and ignore any further attempts at negotiation or explanation. I didn't need to respond to every message, especially when they weren't getting to the heart of the matter. I wanted to focus on what really mattered at the time, which was preparing for the arrival of my child and dealing with the reality of the situation in a way that didn't involve Chelsea's apologies. I thought that would be the end of it. I assumed that after a few weeks things would calm down and I wouldn't hear from her again. But to my surprise, the very next day, Chelsea showed up at my door, and not alone, she was with my brother. They stood there together. As soon as I saw them, I knew something was different. Chelsea was visibly upset, and my brother had this look of regret on his face. Chelsea started talking almost immediately, her voice shaking. I could barely make out the words at first, but eventually it became clear. She was apologizing, genuinely apologizing, and this time with tears in her eyes. She kept saying how sorry she was and that she had realized the extent of her mistake. I could see that she was remorseful, though I didn't know if it was because of the consequences or because she genuinely felt bad for her actions. Either way, the fact that she was there, in person, speaking directly to me, showed that she had taken some responsibility for what had happened. As Chelsea spoke, my brother didn't say much. He just stood there quietly, looking somewhat ashamed. It seemed that he had already been through this with their parents. From what I gathered, my brother had told their parents everything that had happened. He had been the one to explain the full extent of the situation to them, and unsurprisingly, their parents had been upset. I could only imagine how angry they must have been, especially considering that Chelsea was their daughter. But in a way, I was glad that my brother had taken that step, that he had been open with his parents. It wasn't easy, but it seemed like the right thing to do. Watching Chelsea stand there, reduced to tears and full of regret, had an odd effect on me. My initial anger, which had felt so strong just days before, started to dissipate. It wasn't that I had forgiven her completely, it wasn't that simple. But seeing her vulnerable like that made me think about things from a different perspective. She had made a huge mistake, and she had hurt me, but she was human. She was flawed. And maybe, just maybe, she was beginning to understand the gravity of her actions. As much as I wanted to hold on to my anger, I couldn't ignore the fact that no real harm had been done. Yes, her words had been hurtful, and yes, she had crossed a line. But in the end, there had been no lasting damage. The things she had said weren't easy to forget, but they weren't impossible to move past. There was no reason to create a rift between myself and my brother and his family over this. He and his wife were good people, and I didn't want to let a single mistake on Chelsea's part tear our relationship apart. I told her that if she was truly sorry, then I would accept her apology, but I also made it very clear that this was the one and only time I would tolerate something like this. I wasn't going to let her off the hook entirely, but I also didn't want to punish her indefinitely. I simply needed to know that she understood the weight of what had happened. She needed to know that if something like this ever happened again, there would be no second chances. "Next time, there won't be one," I said firmly, looking directly at her, making sure she understood the gravity of my words. I wanted her to know that this wasn't something I could just brush off. It had hurt, and it had shaken me in ways I wasn't ready to admit, but I wasn't going to let it destroy my relationship with my brother or my family. To her credit, Chelsea nodded, wiping away her tears. She said she understood and promised that nothing like this would ever happen again. I wasn't sure if she truly understood what she was agreeing to, but I had to trust her words for the time being. I wasn't in the habit of holding grudges, and I didn't want to carry that weight any more than I had to. The tension in the room slowly started to lift, and it felt like we had reached a turning point. It wasn't perfect, but it was a step in the right direction. Months went by, and life moved on. Chelsea and Kylie both had healthy babies, and I became an aunt, something I had been looking forward to for a long time. I couldn't deny the joy that came with welcoming these new little lives into the world. I was grateful for the chance to be a part of their lives, to shower them with love and affection, and to be the kind of aunt I had always hoped to be. Chelsea and I didn't talk about what happened much after that. There was no need to. We both knew the history, and we both knew the consequences of our actions. But the fact that things had settled down was enough. It was enough that we could all move forward without holding on to past mistakes. The entire situation had changed us, in some ways for the better. We had learned how to apologize, how to forgive, and how to accept the reality of our actions. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And as the time passed, the whole hand-me-down incident became nothing more than a funny story we laughed about during family gatherings. What had once been a source of frustration and anger now felt like just another chapter in the ongoing story of our lives. It was no longer something that weighs us down. It was something we could all look back on and laugh about, a reminder of how far we had come. Now life had returned to normal, quiet, peaceful, and filled with moments of joy. The lessons we had learned from that experience had stayed with us, and I was grateful for the way things had worked out in the end. But even more than that, I was grateful for the way it had brought our family closer together. It had been a test of patience, forgiveness, and understanding. But we had come through it stronger, and now with the babies in the picture, everything seemed to have a renewed sense of purpose. We were no longer just dealing with the weight of old mistakes. We were focused on building something positive together. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.